I'm calling to order our April 22nd, 2025 CUSD 201 school board meeting. We'll start with roll call.
Adina Hoover.
Here.
Whitney Rogers. Jessica Radonio.
Here.
Carlos Avia.
Here.
Angela Steckity.
Here.
Kevin Marin.
Here.
Leah Conover.
Here.
We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll proceed with the approval of minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the April 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the April 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we have public comment. We have, looks like we have one person submitted for a public comment. Basically, at this time, I just want to reiterate that this is not an engagement time. The board will consider your comments and its decisions. For those comments or questions requiring a follow-up response, the board president or superintendent will follow up. At this time, we have Gina Allen.
Hi, my name is Gina Allen. Thanks so much for your time this evening. My husband, Jose, and I moved to Westmont in 2019, and we have 2 children. My oldest, Alba, is almost 3.5 years old and is autistic. As her father and I both work full-time, Alba attends daycare at Guiding Hands Academy on 63rd Street off of Cass Avenue. Guiding Hands is located in Westmont, only 6 minutes and 1.8 miles away from South School, but it's outside of the district's boundaries. I've been informed multiple times, because I have asked multiple times, that the school's transportation policy does not permit any out-of-district busing, and that even though my daughter's IEP calls for specialized transportation as a related service she needs, the school doesn't make exceptions to this policy and will not arrange for her transportation from outside of the district. I'm here today to discuss the rigidity of that transportation policy and what it means for high-risk preschoolers. I understand that the students who attend South are considered high risk of being behind their peers upon entering the school system, whether that's because they come from a certain socioeconomic background, speak only a foreign language in the home, are born to teenage parents, have developmental delays, or have a disability. I asked South, well, what do working parents do about transportation then? Like, what do you suggest? South suggested that I take my child, who already struggles with transitions, and move her to Westmont Yard, another out-of-district daycare facility that has the ability to bus children to and from South's half-day sessions. I didn't understand that at first, being kind of new to the area. Why would they recommend moving my preschooler to another out-of-district daycare? Then I realized there really are no in-district daycare centers except one. I found Bethel Early Learning Center on the DCFS website. It's a small parochial school. The district has no other solutions but to suggest that a private daycare facility transport children to the local preschool. But even if I was inclined to move my daughter from a daycare where she's thriving to Westmont Yard solely because Westmont Yard's able to bus my child to South, Westmont Yard doesn't actually bus children under the age of 4, so that doesn't help children who would transition to preschool from early intervention at age 3. At the end of the day, there's no school choice for parents of preschoolers. South is your only option. You can't change districts based on your child's daycare location. There's no option for a full day of school. There's only the half day, and there's no before and after care option. except for this one solo parochial school, there are no daycare centers within the district that students can be bused to and from under the current policy. As a result, I've had to ask myself, should we change daycares to Westmont Yard or parochial school so Alba can go to school even though we risk regression at best? Should we change our work shifts so that we can take her ourselves, though our new shifts will result in less time at home with our children? Should we reduce the amount of hours we work if possible and lose income? Should I quit working entirely and try stay-at-home parenting, hope that I've budgeted properly for a one-income household, and then that a decent job will be waiting for me when the kids are both in school full-time? Should we simply skip preschool altogether, bring Alba to private therapy instead, hold our breath each year until we hit our insurance's out-of-pocket maximum, and then continue being zombie parents constantly tired from shuttling around from appointment to appointment during business hours and having to make up lost time at work in evenings or on weekends? I recognize that the questions I've asked are questions all parents ask themselves, that everyone has logistical problems. But there's a particular risk here to these at-risk preschoolers, some of whom may yet have undiagnosed disabilities because so many disabilities are incapable of being diagnosed at preschool age, or the wait list for an appointment with a developmental pediatrician right now is a year long or longer. The unintended consequence of a rigid transportation policy with respect to these preschoolers is that at-risk children may not be receiving the services they need. Alba came from early intervention and was eligible for preschool when she turned 3 in January, but she hasn't started receiving services yet because I don't know I haven't made a decision about what to do yet. My employer's generosity and flexibility has limits, and I told him this was my temporary schedule. It's going to be temporary. She's going to school soon. I'm concerned not just about my child and my family, but all families that need to utilize a daycare center and need to get their child's speech, occupational, and other therapy services. So my questions for the board are, is there really no possibility of making an exception to the current transportation policy for my daughter? If not, can the policy be modified? Perhaps a new route specifically for preschoolers could be created that could run downcast to the 5 large preschools off 63rd, Chesterbrook, Peter Pan, Westmont Yard, Guiding Hands, Fairview KinderCare. 4 out of 5 of those are in the village of Westmont. So for a new parent who shows up and doesn't understand district boundaries, you think, I live in Westmont, school's in Westmont, my preschool's in Westmont. There shouldn't be an issue here.
Please ask you to wrap up, please.
Oh, yes, sorry, too quick. Has any research been done to determine what the needs of the incoming and current families are? If so, can that be shared? And then, can I help in any way? I'm not sure what skills I have that would be useful, but perhaps I could do some grant research or gather data from parents or daycares. I want to do whatever I can if it means that I can help prevent at least one high-risk, kid from slipping through the cracks. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other speakers, we'll move along to the agenda. Thank you. We, at this time, have staff recognition and all the presenters. So we're going to start with our retirees. And first we have Alice Riley. We are honored to recognize and celebrate the retirement of Alice, a beloved and respected LBS resource teacher who has served our district since 2001. Most recently, supporting our K and first grade students at Miller, Alice has shared her expertise and advocacy for learners with unique needs. Her calm presence, support, and ability to meet every child where they have made a lasting difference in countless young lives. Colleagues describe Alice as not only a trusted educator, but also a mentor and team player. Her contributions have helped shape an inclusive and nurturing learning environment across our schools, and her legacy will continue to inspire educators and students alike. We thank Alice for her years of devoted service and wish her all the best in her well-earned retirement. We'll continue. The next one.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Peterzak, principal of Manning, and I'm here to celebrate Carrie Frank, who is here this evening. So I have some words for her. It is an honor to take a moment this evening to celebrate someone who has quietly and consistently shaped our school community in so many ways. Carrie Frank, as she prepares to retire at the end of this school year. Carrie's career spans decades, I won't say how many, and buildings within this district. Within District 201, she was an early leader in technology, gifted education, and back when computer labs were new and tech integration was still uncharted territory. She worked in nearly every school in our district, always with flexibility, a spirit of innovation, and a willingness to support others through change. But it's been in the last 8 years, the time that I've had the privilege of working alongside of her, where I've seen firsthand just how much impact she truly has made. As a second grade teacher, Carrie brings calm, consistent, and compassion to her second grade team of colleagues, who we often have said share a brain, which I really think has become true, and I'm sad that that's going to shift after this year. She builds strong relationships with her students, always leading with patience and positivity, but her impact stretches far beyond classroom walls. As a new teacher mentor, Carrie has become one of the very first faces that our new staff in the district sees, and each year she's tasked with providing ongoing support along with her teammates and guidance to new teachers, reminding them that this work is both challenging and deeply human. One moment that stands out and one I'm always going to remember and take with me is when she shared one of the activities that the team was going to do one of these most recent years, and it was the story of the marigold effect. Marigolds are great companion plants. If you don't know, I've become a gardener myself. And the analogy was used with new teachers is to find people that are going to bring the best out of you and to be positive. And she reminded me that environments where it can be really hard and really tough in moments to find people to lean on and be intentional about who you surround yourself with. So that's something that I carry about with me in those times, because sometimes we need to be the marigold and sometimes we need the marigolds around us. Carrie, thank you for the years of care, the quiet leadership, and the way you've poured into others without ever needing the spotlight. You will be missed, and you will always be remembered. Congratulations on a beautiful career and well-deserved retirement.
Not yet.
And it's her birthday.
You're after Kevin. Or you can go now. You can go now if you want.
Kevin's not doing it tonight. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kevin Weck, and I'm the principal of Westmont High School. And tonight we get a chance to recognize and celebrate the career of Sue Pacelli, who's been the nurse at Westmont High School for the last 14 years. Sue, I just want to say thank you for so many years of service. A little bit about Sue. She's here tonight with her husband, Rich. They've been married for 40 years. It's quite the accomplishment. She also has 3 children, Nate, Patrick, and Gabby. And Patrick's actually a graduate from Westmont High School. And Sue told me today that without the help of Leanne and our TAs, or with the help of them, Patrick was able to graduate, and he's an alumni now of Westmont High School. So she was very grateful and thankful for all the support from them. So she's been with us for 14 years. Prior to that, though, she was at Loyola University Hospital, where she worked in the NICU. She did that, and then she had her family, and she came over to Westmont. She worked as a sub and part-time for about 3 years. She then got her chance to be full-time with us due to a misfortune of one of her colleagues. With that, though, she said one of her fondest memories was the fact that everyone brought down all these sweets and treats to her during her first year, where she said she indulged in that, and that was difficult, but she felt very welcomed and supported in her first year, and that's one of her fond memories. Sue did a great job of really helping us navigate the COVID experience, the pandemic. She did a phenomenal job in terms of communication, supporting families and students work through that so that we can help our students be successful in all the capacities possible. So one of the things she's looking forward to after retirement, though, is going up to Wisconsin, where she has a new summer house or vacation house, and her family's going to go spend time up there. She's got grandchildren right now. She's expecting another one in June, so that's something that she's truly looking forward to. What she's going to miss, though, is really being a part of Westmont High School and being with her staff and her teammates. She really had a strong bond with them. She's going to miss seeing them every day. One of the things she did say, though, is something for us to consider is that the challenges and the support that our students need now is much different than it was when she first started, and that we have to do everything we can to really support them on a daily basis with that. And Sue, you did a phenomenal job, not just supporting our students, but also supporting our staff on a daily basis. And for that, we will always be grateful. Thank you for an outstanding career with us. Thank you for all of your support. Congratulations, and good luck with your next chapter in life. So, thank you. I'm sorry. We'll have sweets for you. As much candy as you want.
Is he nice to yours?
You should have him say something from Nadine.
You want to do Nadine? Hi, everybody. Jack Balderman, Superintendent, and I am here to honor our colleague, my friend, our friend, such a dedicated, talented, intelligent colleague of ours, Dr. Nadine Norris, who, when I think of Nadine, the first thing I think of is servant leader. What is it going to take to help out my colleagues? Because we're focused on students, and that's what Nadine has always been about. What is it going to take? She's a problem solver. She uses her wisdom and her skills to do whatever it takes to better our district with a focus on her colleagues and our students. And she is the ultimate team player that way. Ever since I first met her, and that's what her reputation is. How can I get the resources to make this a better district to serve our students? That's Dr. Nadine Norris. There was a time where every student in this district didn't have technology, right? One-to-one. So Nadine led that effort in a masterful way, in a fiscally responsible way, in a way to get people training. That's Nadine Norris. She fought for coaches in this district and actually helped to usher in an era where it's an expectation that we have coaches in the buildings supporting our amazing teachers. She's here tonight with her wonderful husband, Jeff, and we're fortunate because she's not going to completely leave us, but the years she has given us as a servant leader, as a problem solver, as the most ethical, driven leader. If we need Nadine, it's a whatever it takes response. There's been times when I had to call on her, late times, weekends, doesn't matter. Nadine is going to be there to serve others in this district. And it has been such an honor to work with you, and everybody knows you as somebody who is here to give all of your talent and wisdom for the betterment of our students and our teaching staff and your fellow administrators. So thank you so much, Dr. Norris, for your amazing work in your time here in CUSD 201. I want to also add, Sue Pacelli, it was great working with you for 11 years. Well, did great for our kids.
Next, we'll go to those who excel. And we'll start with Kevin.
Right. We did have a video that was supposed to be a surprise for Ms. Jakubowski over here from our students, but I'll share that with her tomorrow. Just some love from our students, just expressing how much they appreciate her and how much she means to them in terms of inspiring them. But tonight's a really special night for us. We get a chance to recognize, Ms. Jakubowski, who is a community member and an alum, as well as somebody who's been in CUSD 201 longer than I have in terms of like helping mentor our students and being a great role model, inspiring our students to really dream big, to push themselves outside their comfort zone. And that's just truly who she is. You know, she's not just an English teacher. She sometimes can be a mom, a friend, somebody that, you know, holds high expectations for students when sometimes they don't want to live up to that. You know, she works tirelessly for our students in terms of setting high expectations, supporting them, finding out what kind of support that they need in terms of closing the learning gap and emotional gaps so that they can feel confident and they can be successful when it comes to academics. And that's expressed in this video. You know, students wouldn't just do this disingenuously. They really care about Ms. Jakubowski because that's who she is as a person. And that's how she works with not just our students, but with our faculty. You know, her role is just an English teacher, the department coordinator, instructional coach. She does a lot for our culture. You know, you can't necessarily label all the things she does for our school. And we've had a lot of success because of individuals like Ms. Jakubowski. And she sets the tone for our building in terms of working hard and holding people to high expectations and pushing beyond boundaries that they thought were even possible. And that kind of leadership, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't quantify it. You can't truly express that in words. So I feel very lucky and blessed to have her as one of our building leaders, but somebody that is so passionate about our students and our school and our community, who gives everything that she has on a daily basis, whether it's at 5 o'clock in the morning responding to a text message, or 8 o'clock at night putting together a Google form, or grading papers until midnight. These are the types of things that our teachers, especially Ms. Jakubowski, do on a daily basis that sometimes we take for granted, and sometimes it goes unnoticed. But it's my responsibility as the principal to be the biggest cheerleader and the person that wants to celebrate and recognize the hard work of our teammates. And tonight, I'm so proud to be able to express this in terms of Ms. Jakubowski being recognized for those who excel. She truly embodies that, and this is a well-deserved honor. So congratulations, Ms. Jakubowski. Thank you for all of your hard work. Keep it up. We need you. Tomorrow's a big day. We got our juniors taking the ACT, so we're hopeful that they, you know, they step up like they have all year. They've been working hard, and she's, you know, one of the people that helps instill this confidence that our students are going to have tomorrow morning when they start that test. So thank you. Congratulations.
I have to add, because I've worked with Anna for the last 13 years, there are several students who would never have made it throughout high school without Anna. They never would have graduated without her. And I'm so proud of her because she's persevered, she's a constant learner, and now she's a national leader when it comes to literacy and helping teams literally all over the nation help to become stronger in their practices. So she not only has a powerful impact on our students at Westmont High School, but she is truly a national leader and recognized by some of the best in the business for her expertise.
I'm going to add a little bit too, just as a testament as a parent, talk about someone who's instilled confidence. And I've seen it with my firstborn. I have a senior right now. Truly, like, from a quiet young lady who, you know, was daunted by testing and this, and you've instilled so much of her that I'm very happy with what you've done and all of what you do, and I see those responses from the kids, and thanks for cheering us, the kids on at games and everything, so congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to continue with Erlinda Melendez. Erlinda serves as a full-time dual language teaching assistant at Miller Elementary. Her profound knowledge of bilingual education and second language acquisition has been a cornerstone of her exceptional work performance. She seamlessly bridges linguistic and cultural gaps, creating a welcoming and inclusive environment where every student feels seen, heard, and empowered in their kindergarten and first grade classrooms. Whether supporting academic instruction, fostering students' language skills, or engaging in cultural celebrations, Erlinda enriches the educational experience in ways that resonate deeply with our diverse school community. Erlinda comes in every day with a smile and has a positive attitude. We are so grateful to have Erlinda as a member of the Mustang family and is a perfect candidate to receive the Those Who Excel Award. Next, we have Christy Piatek. Did I say that correctly? Thank you. It's like always second guess. Christy serves as a full-time reading and math interventionist at Miller Elementary School. Christy is an outstanding reading and math interventionist who extends far beyond the classroom. Her expertise, dedication to student success, collaborative spirit, and positive influence on our school community makes her an invaluable asset. One of Christy's greatest qualities is her commitment to ensure student success. She embodies the belief that every student deserves the opportunity to succeed regardless of background or learning challenges. This belief drives her to go above and beyond to ensure that all students feel valued, supported, and capable of achieving their fullest potential. Christy demonstrates a tireless commitment to building a school culture that is inclusive, respectful, and geared towards the success of every child. Christy is well deserving of the Those Who Excel Award, and we are so thankful she is a Mustang. And next we have Nancy Nanalik. Nancy serves as a full-time reading and math interventionist at Miller Elementary School. Nancy is an exceptional educator whose commitment to students, colleagues, and the broader community has created a lasting impact. She played a pivotal role in developing and implementing the district's dual language and English learner programs, enhancing instructional practices and ensuring families were informed and supported. Her expertise in language acquisition and data-driven instruction has consistently driven student achievement, while her compassion and dedication extend well beyond the classroom. Whether raising funds for families in need, stepping in during staffing shortages, or leading parent workshops, Nancy leads with empathy, initiative, and an unshakable belief in equity. Her presence has strengthened school culture, fostered meaningful relationships, and uplifted both staff and family in powerful, enduring ways. We are proud to have her accomplishments as a Mustang and for winning ISBE's Those Who Excel Award. Now I invite Lindsay back.
This year it's an honor to recognize and celebrate Carrie Bauerlein as a recipient of Those Who Excel Award. She has, once again, many roles in this district, and for that, she was nominated. I've had the pleasure of getting to know her, not just in my tenure at Manning, but I actually met her while working at the high school many, many years ago. And from that time, I knew that I wanted to learn from her and still learn every single day. In a small district like ours, it's powerful to have educators like Carrie, teachers who truly understand the art of what teaching is and understand that we are too learning every single day about our profession and growing continually as Carrie does, because it is truly an art and a science and somewhat of crafting as well, which she likes to do just in her in her spare time. Carrie leads by example, not only through her instructional practices, but also through her leadership roles, which are volunteer, might I add. As the vice president of the WTA, she works collaboratively with administrators and colleagues and is always with a student-first mindset, which we see poured into every day in the classroom, every conversation that you have. And it's truly important to understand that she is always solution-minded and will always come to the table trying to find what is best for all parties involved. Her recent partnership in the classroom with a new teacher has been such a great experience to both observe and has been inspiring even for myself as an administrator, where she's able to model her own expertise and share great examples for students as well. And she pushes so many of our students to go above and beyond what they could even expect for themselves. She pours her energy into developing others while striving for herself to learn, which I know sometimes I push her, and I know that she pushes me, but I think that is where the best learning takes place, and it makes her truly special. Please join me in congratulating Carrie on this well-deserved recognition. We're lucky to have her, this district is lucky to have her, and the staff is better because of her.
Yes. I want to just add, Carrie is an amazing teacher, but she and her partner Heidi Nardini should write an article or a book on union leadership, because they will protect their people and do right by them while remaining always student-centered and problem-solving orientated, and they are models for what union leadership should be about in this country, to go with her exceptional teaching. And I'm so grateful for you and your leadership in this district and all you give to us. Thank you, Carrie.
Good evening. My name is Nadine Norris, and one of my many roles is to be the Director of Technology, and I want to thank Mr. Balderman for his kind words. They meant a lot to me. Thank you so much. I'm honored to recognize my exceptional team of technology specialists, including James Carrera, Jeremy Batista, Pedro Rodriguez, and Chris Springer. They've been nominated for the ISB Those Who Excel Award. Their work exemplifies what it means to be genuinely student-centered in an educational technology support role. The team consistently goes above and beyond their traditional roles. Jeremy co-sponsors the Asian American Club, the STEM Club, the school plays, fostering creativity and inclusivity. Pedro collaborates with the Junior High Technology Service team and mentors a few in 4th and 5th grade students, encouraging student innovation and collaboration. Chris's patience and her good humor. We all know anyone, any parent, any staff member who's had to call about Skyward questions, she is your gal. Jim is the person you want when issues arise that seem unsurmountable. The commitment to our students is evident through everything they do. They respond immediately to classroom technology needs, implementing systems that support diverse learners. Last week during testing, they just walked around. They were told by teachers, "We're just relaxed just knowing you're here." They understand the purpose is not just maintaining the networks and repairing devices. Their primary mission is to put students at the heart of their work, providing and maintaining the right tools to do their job. It is my honor to thank them for their role. Thank you very much.
We have another person that I would like to start to recognize, but I feel like our fellow board members will also do the same. And I want to take this time to recognize Angela Steckity. Angela joined our team when she was elected 4 years ago to this position, but that's not where, as I've seen and witnessed, her work began. I knew Ange before she knew me because she was an active parent and collaborator and team person, putting students first, I think, since I moved into the district, and I've always seen you. You were a role model then, and you still are. Taking on more, continually putting more on your plate, but always. And we know probably some of your huge giving time is not recognized as a board member or a PTO member or what have you. You're always giving to kids in this district. So I want to take this time to say it's an honor I know you're not done, because I know you can't stay away from these kids in Westmont, so I'm going to see you somewhere. You said on the committees, at least. I want to recognize you and thank you for all the time and love you put into this community. So thank you. Next.
I want to echo that too. We have an amazing board, and Ange, you are people-centered to the core, and I'm so grateful that we've had the chance to work together, and who you are as a human being is inspiring to me, and all you give to others, and your compassion is so deep. Your commitment to our community is so incredible. It's a very special gift that you've given to our community, and I feel honored to have worked with you. Thank you.
I just want to know who's going to keep up with all the upcoming events whenever you're gone. I also knew Ange before she knew me because of the same thing. Anytime I attended anything, you were there. Whether I didn't even know you were on the school board, and you're always involved in everything, and I hope you stay involved.
Okay, I'm going to miss having you on the board here, but I will see you around a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been nothing but awesome to get to know you as a board member for the last 4 years. I know you so much better, but I know you're deeply dedicated, and we'll see you all everywhere.
And I echo what everybody said. Honestly, I think it's hard to capture everything you've contributed in words. I think everybody's done a really nice job, but your presence will be deeply missed around this table. I think we're hard pressed to find somebody who cares so deeply and is so inclusive and thoughtful and compassionate. And when Adina said something about the love you have, love is like the word that resonates that I think of when I think about you and how you've led and will continue 100% to lead in this community in all kinds of ways. We'll miss you.
I want to give a quick shout out to Mike, too, her husband, because I think he lives in our concession stand.
Thank you, Mike.
He's been voluntold many times.
Yes, so many voluntold positions. Okay, we're not going into closed session at this time. We are moving along to our presentation of election results.
They've been posted in board docs.
They have been posted in both board docs to look at specific numbers. I don't have that here. But the results have been attached there, and they were certified and made official today, April 22nd, 2025. So I'm going to call, before I say that, are pictures being taken? Should I instruct?
They're going to go take their pictures.
I don't know if she wants to record this.
Okay.
I think Anna's getting the pictures, yeah.
Okay, she got it. Okay.
Oh, I don't know if they want pictures of this.
So I'm going to invite our, I think they have it. Edith is there. I'm going to invite our newly elected board members for this cycle to step forward, and we are going to read the oath of office. So we have Leah Conover, Jessica Radonio, Kevin Marin, and Lauren Zakiri.
Take an oath of office.
I stood for this. Do they face that way?
You can with the camera.
So you guys can grab this, because I'm sure you're not going to remember as I read it. So you can grab it, hold it, and turn around.
Give it here.
Thank you. Sure. Right. Do you raise your right hand? So at this time, you'll repeat after me, except for the part where you say your own name. So I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education Board of Education of CUSD 201 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of CUSD 201 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear or affirm that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at the public board meeting.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board's extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for CUSD 201.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for CUSD 201.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community school to advance the vision for CUSD 201.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community schools to advance the vision for CUSD 201.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district towards fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Congratulations. We'll have everyone up in a minute, but I'm just going to, before you guys sit down. So it's part of our custom at this time when we have a new election and the swearing in of our next school board member to our district that we entertain a motion to adjourn Sendai. So this is a temporary adjournment. We do have some refreshments, but we will continue our board meeting with our new member. So I need a motion to adjourn. Seeing
Motion
none.
to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned for the moment. So let's stand for a picture.
Pictures with Ange or something before
Yes,
she
yes.
leaves.
So now, we're gonna do pictures now. So we're adjourned for now. Okay, good.
The whole board?
Yeah, and then, look, Ange, if you come up with us, we'll start.
What do you all want me to do? Leave?
Those are off centered. Seriously. They're perfect, right there. I got you.
Satisfied yours?
Actually, a little bit. It matters. Gotta get that W like right in the middle. Yeah. Just that PR meeting,
Wait, Ange. Come on. You guys are so fun.
What is actually happening out
And
there?
then I felt like I was in trouble. So I was right in the middle. Right in the middle. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Right under that W, girl. Makes come out of your head.
I don't know what. Jack,
Where's the gap?
he's looking outside.
You say what?
And close the gap. That's photobombing.
What you want me out of the way? I got it.
You're photobombing.
I am not photobombing.
Last thing we want to do.
One, wanna be? Great.
Are you
Is he holding the one? Maybe we have to zoom again? Yeah. And his height's totally. We want him on the corner like this.
You don't want that.
Okay.
People running through the exits.
Look here.
Throwing up.
I'm sorry, because then.
Please don't make her mad. Come on, yeah.
Please.
Stop screwing around.
Jack had that thing on his report card. He promised a lot. That's a really great picture. Thank you. Absolutely, you did.
Oh. Get some cake.
We'll get some cake and
Yeah.
stuff.
We'll be reconvening and coming back in a few minutes.
Proposing and coming back.
Not for you, no, unless you want to get a picture of the board out.
Get cake.
You're gonna do what now?
We got it.
No, I'm not, I think so, right?
Did they say where?
How long is this break?
5 minutes. I have no idea.
Did you see me during the
We're calling to order, resuming our board meeting. We'll start with roll call.
Dina Hoover.
Here.
Whitney Rogers. Jessica Redonio.
Here.
Carlos Avia.
Here.
Lauren Zakiri.
Here.
Kevin Marin.
Here.
Leah Conover.
Here.
Okay, at this time, it's part of our procedure to elect, nominate and then elect officers for the board. And we will be starting with the board president. So as a discussion before we make a motion, we did have a policy and changed the policy with this board and most of the members here with having 2-year terms for our officer positions. It is something that this board, with working with all of the great help that we have and the knowledge and some expertise and thoughts and connection with the community, that we all have something to give as part of our roles on the board. So it doesn't stop, and generally you heard the oath earlier that we're all equal partners in this, and we together we make one decision. It doesn't take apart from the thoughts that we individually have, but when a decision is made, we have one, and then we have leaders with that. So we start with the president role. At this time, I will nominate first.
You have to nominate.
Okay. So I nominate Leah Conover for our board member president role.
And then you ask if there are any other nominations.
Are there any other nominations for board president? Okay, there are none. The chair will entertain a motion to name Leah Conover as Board of Education president for 2-year term.
No, we went to 1 year. It used to be 2, we went to 1.
Policy says 2. We updated the policy says 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a second?
I second that.
Drama. And then we'll have roll call.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Ms. Redonio.
Yes.
Ms. Zakiri.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Ms. Hoover.
Yes. Congratulations. We'll move to the office of vice president. I'll take nominations for the vice president role.
Carlos Avia.
Are there other nominations for the role of vice president? The chair will entertain a motion to name Carlos Avia as the vice president of the Board of Education for a 2-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Ms. Redonio.
Yes.
Ms. Stuckey. Sorry. Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Ms. Hoover.
Yes.
Ms. Zakiri.
Yes.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations. And now we'll move to the officer role of secretary.
I nominate Jess Redonio.
Are there any other nominations? The chair will entertain a motion to name Jessica Redonio as our secretary for the Board of Education for a 2-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Zakiri.
Yes.
Ms. Redonio.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Dr. Hoover.
Yes.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Next, we move into the appointment of board committees. So for many years, the Board of Education has maintained committees to work, or can I ask one question? Do we switch, or?
You have to sign up again. Everyone should have a sheet in front of them, which they're going to fill in and give back to me tonight.
I'll just trade this role with Leah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we need right now you switch? Yeah, you can, yes.
Do we have to,
Do you want to switch right now, because you are elected the new board?
Maybe after closed?
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep a good thing going.
Let me milk this. All right. For many years, the Board of Education has maintained committees to work with the administration examining certain key elements in the CUSD 201 operation. The committees have been finance, policy, strategic planning, facilities, and public relations. As designed, the committees have been actively involved in several important areas. The administration has appreciated this type of board involvement. It has been custom of the new board.
You don't need to read.
Okay. All right, so we have, usually what we've done is not necessarily nominating, but we have a sign-up sheet, and we've kind of held to that. So this will be passed around as we move along the agenda. You sign up for committees, and it is asked, like from our board kind of rules, that we sign up for at least one committee, but you can do more than one. If there is 3 in a committee, we organize in a way that if 3 members are present, that we have to post for our Open Meetings Act, that we have to post those meetings, make it aware, because 3 members are present at one time. So
I think we've talked about doing just regardless, because we just need to post our committee meetings.
Right.
Well, we just, that's one way to communicate our committee meetings.
Right. But we post it
That
in a
is to
certain
us.
way, which is fine,
Yeah.
but actually even more than that, many times because of our schedules and work schedules, there have been, 2 people. So we'll pass that around, and then we document once we kind of assure where everybody is placed at that time, and we definitely discuss this more at our board retreats to be determined.
Doesn't really matter.
Any other questions or comments regarding the committees?
Didn't we adjust strategic to be a board? We had some strategic planning committee meetings last 2 years, and I feel like we adjusted them to just be a board. What did we do? You remember what you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we've done like a district-wide meeting, and that was part of our strategic planning, and so.
I feel like we called it, but I don't know if it's this strategic planning committee, or if we called it like just a board, like everybody was on it.
Oh, yes.
So everyone sign up for strategic.
But we will leave it there for now, and then it's something that definitely we should have. I think the last big one that we had before the referendum was like a district-wide with multiple administrators looking at our goals and re-examining those. And I know something that you've wanted us to look at district-wide to do like some more shaping and redeveloping where we are and making it, something that's current and works well with us. So I think it's something this board just has to organize a little bit better, and when we want to do that and how you would want to do that, Jack, and kind of handle that. But I think it'll be an important and very informational gathering exercise for our community once we do have it. So I look forward to that. We'll move with the agenda and establish our board meetings. So the chair will entertain a motion that the regular meetings of the Community Unit School District 201 Board of Education be held as identified on the notice schedule of regular meetings of the Board of Education of Community Unit School District 201 as presented. So it's something that's uploaded to the board docs before we vote those, before we take the motion. Just want to, at this time, see if there are any questions or comments about the list of meetings or the way that
I do have a question or comment. I don't know which it is. We'll see as it comes out. I thought we talked about maybe mixing up location once in a while, and I know that we can do that prior to a meeting. We can change the location, and I really want us to think a little harder and maybe actually put some meetings at the high school, at Manning, at the actual buildings themselves. This is nice, but I think with everything that we've been talking about, I think it's really important for us to consider holding meetings in the buildings themselves.
And that is, we're obligated every year to post this by a certain date.
Yeah, right.
With the constraints that, with recording and use of staff to get those things, that's the juggle of it, and scheduled times, it's hard to schedule that like almost a year out. But recognizing that we're always forward thinking if it's something we plan to do and get ahead of it, that, if there's a change in location, which we've done before, that we plan that early enough that we can get it scheduled. We can check to see if we have our tech support available to do that, because that's also like considering just that they're, is it employees of the village or the
Yeah, we
district,
have
that
to-
we just
we're gonna
consider
report
those
someone.
things, that there's a cost and an organization of that.
Like, I like that idea. Do we do committee meetings at the various buildings instead?
Yeah,
Because those aren't televised, you know?
I definitely love
And
the
so-
idea of the committee meetings being right before board meetings, so wherever the board meetings are happening, it makes it better for the public. I think it
Well,
makes
and I
it,
did jot down a note of like, this room for the committee meeting isn't, it's not set.
It's not great.
Like, let's have a great conversation,
I
you know?
agree.
I-
That's
I was
part of the
think-
reason
yeah, I
that
was
I'm
thinking
thinking
that
of,
earlier today,
you
yeah.
know?
So
Anyway.
we do need to have, we should have a conversation about that, right? It came up at the last board meeting via public comment, but I think it has come up a couple of times of moving, right, our location. So we should have a larger conversation about that as a board, if that's where we want to go to. And then also, we need to talk about committee meeting dates also, something that we have to get this schedule out, the board meeting schedule out,
Yep.
and posted by a certain date. I think it behooves us to salve our committee meeting dates as well, very quickly. Those are not as required here, but then we can really take a look at, this is our board meeting, here's our facilities, and have those dates set, so that we can all get them on our calendars, our community can get them on their calendars. So we can have that deeper conversation in like a meeting or two. Maybe it's something that we work on over the summer. What do you guys think? Or would you want to
Yes,
work on
I
it
think that's
sooner?
good.
Would you want to
No,
work on it?
I don't
like-
think it's a top priority. I just, since we've got it in front of us, it reminded me that we had talked about it, and that, yeah, having the conversation sometime, so that even, I mean, I don't know the exact number, what are there, like 18?
17.
17 meetings on here? So like, if 2 of them were at one of the, you know, if we could get into each of the buildings, great, that would be 4. Well, 5, I guess, with South, you know, so.
I just want to keep in mind my thoughts on that, you know, why I agreed to set that, but as we think about it, so we say we want our community with us in those buildings, and I know it separates things, but it's like many of our board meetings are minimal. We get minimal attendance. We get large attendance with our committee meetings, and that's where we want the heart of people seeing our buildings. So I know we said we'll have a conversation, but just to think of if we want a larger audience and take advantage of that, let's take it for the times that committee meetings where people are more involved, it's not as formal, that we have those in our buildings and press for those, because they're longer, they're different days. I think I love that we have our committee meetings for myself as a schedule, like right before our board member meetings, but sometimes I feel like we need more than an hour. And those larger ones, those are the ones I want more of the community involved in our buildings for that, because there's more involvement,
I
more
agree.
participation.
And so I think like
involved.
when we ever revisit this in a couple of weeks, like I think it makes a lot of sense for our facilities committee meeting to be in the buildings. And so figuring out like once we have this schedule of meetings, or I mean, I guess deciding, I think whichever committee meetings we can, let's attach them to board meetings. But I think we could probably all agree that facilities makes a lot of sense to be in the buildings. And are there any others that we feel strongly about?
So getting schedules out and seeing, I think it's still a goal to see like 2 meetings, like you said, Carlos.
Jack, do
2
you
meetings be on location. Let's figure it out and get all of that and see if we can get a schedule ahead of time so we can get all of our support that we need, whichever is possible.
Jack, do you think it's possible to have potential dates for each of these committee meetings for next year by the next board meeting, 2 board meetings? Because it kind of sounds like we need to get to, let's get our committee meeting scheduled, and maybe that's the board meeting that we have a deeper conversation about what should be where or whatever, right? So, and I know that Edith was talking about potentially matching up some of those committee meetings, some of the, at least the PR with events. Like our big, like STEM night worked out really, really well, right? Like, do you think that it's realistic? Because I do think that a big win that we had this past year was, and the last couple of years, is we scheduled these meetings for the whole year. And I don't want to fall backwards
Right.
in that, because we can always adjust. We need time, we need to know, right? but we can always adjust something that's already scheduled. It's much harder to schedule something that is not even there, right? So I do think that at least having the starting date for all the committee meetings for next year set, so that we can all start there, and then maybe, I know Edith has some ideas about this as well, so do you think it's realistic to have those dates? And I realize we've got,
With committee meetings?
At least the
Scheduled, connected to the board meetings? Or we could.
Scheduled.
Schedule?
separate, or, just at least starting that, here's the first meeting for finance, here's the first. That's the minimum, I think, we're asking for.
I think they have to be scheduled for the year. Look,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
finance meetings are like, they're already, we have this many and we have to have this many. Like, we already know when the finance meetings already have to be because they're controlled by the budget to a huge extent. And we've had all these meetings this year, and many of them prior to our board meetings already. So we've already got a bit of a base schedule to work off of.
We could have a rough draft in May and a solid draft in June.
We can always add committee meetings, right?
Right.
Always add.
Yeah, so let's do our base, and then if we want to add a finance committee meeting separate from the board
We can
meetings.
always add.
Yep,
But we should
perfect.
have our base, we should have our,
Yeah.
policy has to meet twice a year, we already know that, when press, right, that's driven by press also, right, so like that stuff that we've already had scheduled, and I think PR met every other month this year, or tried to meet every other month this year.
So I like
The
that.
part of it is that you also want the locations, right? We want those established, or you want to just do the
I think the
committees first?
committee meetings are the most important,
Okay.
and then we can go from there. I don't want location to hold up us scheduling the committee meetings for the year.
Okay. Well, I know we could get a rough draft in May and then get some feedback from you all and have a final draft in June. I mean, it's just a matter of how many committees do we have? I mean, there's right? And they're going to meet a couple times each, some of them a little bit more. We can do that. The one thing I would caution us, and I love the idea, especially getting into some of our other buildings for all the reasons we know why, but it does present some logistical difficulties for when we televise these meetings, just to keep that in the radar. So I think we should choose them carefully.
Yeah, they cannot be live streamed.
Yeah.
We know that we can't live stream when we're doing it from location.
Yeah. But we could start looking at, see, that's the only thing, I went on a little more time, we do a rough draft, but then if we're gonna try to coordinate with events, because you're right, the night that we had the meeting, STEM night, backed up was really smart. But yes, we can have something for the May meeting, because we're meeting May 13th.
And I think that also helps our parents too. We're asking our parents to be involved, right? Like, you're already coming out for Fine Arts Night, you're already coming out for International, right, like.
Most of those are not Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So at the point that we are now, we have a list of scheduled dates, time, places, at least for our board meetings, and that's set with a possibility of changing one or two. And possibility, I'll leave that there, but also a plan for our committee meetings that we have a goal of having a tentative schedule for May that looked at some baseline meetings, knowing that we can always add more. But that's not final, and we'll discuss it in May, and then June. Whatever feedback, or if we're adding or tweaking that, we can work to finalize at least those initial dates. Okay, so I'll go back to the motion to accept the regular meetings of the Community Unit School District 201 Board of Education meetings, and then a motion, and then
So moved.
Second.
roll call.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we move to the appointment of our IASB representative. The chair I nominate Kevin Marin. Any other nominations for that role?
No, but can I second it?
Yes. Will turn out to be our outgoing representative. If there are no other nominations, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Kevin Marin as Community Unit School District 201's Illinois Association of School Boards delegate.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Donio?
Yes.
Ms. Security?
Yes.
Yes, that sounds like a special ring to it.
It was me. It's just,
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to enter closed session to discuss personnel issues, student discipline, the superintendent evaluation, and review of closed session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Avia?
yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Security?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
So I need someone to take notes, hit record, and then you need to log every time someone comes in and out.
Yes, okay.
Board is returning from closed.
By the way, you had access to most of this.
I don't.
Okay, guys, moving right along. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Personnel recommendations, Ronald O'Connor, CSBO, Stephanie Just, Assistant Principal, Manning Elementary School, Brandy Campbell, Superintendent Intern, Jessica Vizcara, 4th, 5th grade, dual language math teacher, Megan Veal, Special Education Teacher Miller. Number 2, approval of the April 2025 expenditure report. And number 3, ratification of March 2025 regular payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Ms. Zakiri.
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Dr. Hoover.
Yes.
Ms. Redonio.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Still going in.
Right. Okay, moving into our information and discussion portion of the evening. Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm like, every time you like, I'm like, oh crap.
You're right.
These down here.
Discussion number 1, Westmont High School schedule change for the 2025-2026 school year. So just to remind everybody, the admin from Westmont High School came to our last board meeting and gave us a nice presentation on the adjustments that they would like to make to the schedule change, namely not doing early dismissal on Wednesdays. So in board docs, you can see that presentation, and then you can also see the approval of it. So is there any?
I had a question just as it came up, like the unit, being a unit district thing. Are we obligated? That, I kind of know the answer, but I think I know the answer. Are we obligated that all schools do this? Or is it okay that just the high school is not having early dismissal?
It's okay.
Okay. So the elementary school, and then even clearing up confusion for our community, our parents, that this doesn't mean it takes place at the junior high, that they're extending or what have you. This is just the high school.
Yes.
And that's something that's okay at unit district. Okay.
Yes.
I really appreciate the administration coming to speak to us about that and the reasons why, and as many of our decisions it's a student-centered decision, and sounds like it's going to have good applications and even something that we can track the data.
And keep kids in the building.
Just like that.
Okay, so we will be voting on this in action items later tonight, just a heads up. Okay, number 2, summer school 2025. Jack, you want to, take
No,
this?
we got
Carla's
superstar
coming up.
Dr. Braun here.
Yeah, I can make this quick too, because you have it all in front of you.
Do that.
Is it because we said the word data, like you come running?
Yeah, no, I'll highlight the changes for you, just so you know, but it's all right there. So the only changes from last year to this year, so June Boost, so the elementary summer school for the incoming 1st through incoming 4-5 students, or through incoming 5th grade students, it's longer this year. So last year it was only 11 days. This year it's 23 days. So that's the big change there. And then ESY is just growing a little bit. That one is grant funded. Tiffany Teresi is taking the lead on that one. And that one's growing a little bit this year. But the STEM, the Jumpstart to Kindergarten, was extremely successful last year. We're keeping that again this year. It really was helpful to get those kindergarten students prepared and ready to be in school. And it really was that. It was a Jumpstart to Kindergarten. So it was super great. The Jumpstart to Dual Language was super successful last year too. Edith Corrington did that one and made that really fun for our kids. Just a cool experience. Yeah, and Jumpstart to Kindergarten was Sam Sinovich's baby, and that was awesome too. But so that's all the same. The junior high is almost exactly the same. They have their Reading and Math Rising, which is invitation only for incoming 6th through 8th grade students based on academic performance. The step up for the class of 2020, so that day where the incoming 6th graders come in, and then they have the compact ACC math, which is really helpful for our students to make a jump from Common Core math to Math 1 for their 8th grade year. And then the high school is the same offerings as last year as well. They have the credit recovery, so kids can, students who are significantly credit and skill deficient, they can have an opportunity to recover some of those credits. The jump to AP Geography is also a really fun, cool experience to help kids transition into that AP Geography. The transitions in English and math, same as last year, to help any students with literacy and math skills who were in literacy workshop or math workshop. Freshman orientation to help with those incoming freshmen. And then the summer bump honors math pre-calc, and it's really to help kids learn at those high levels so they can have more rigorous coursework. So we're just looking for approval for that today. But it's a lot the same as last year. It was really successful last year, and we want to continue with it.
I have a super quick question. Have all the invites gone out for those invite-only?
They have not yet.
Okay.
Because we were waiting until this meeting. So
perfect
tomorrow,
sense.
a lot of them will go out tomorrow, actually.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just want to say, in 2013, there was no summer school in CUSD 201.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like, no programs. And look what we've evolved to. And it's for every kid from the kids who are struggling the most to the kids who failed and need to get boosted back up again, to kids who want to be enriched. It's the whole continuum. It's really special what we fund, and so I could go on, but not too long ago, there was nothing, no summer school.
It's really wonderful. And it gets stronger every year. I love that you guys tweak it every year. Like, really. There's learning something every year. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Carla.
Thanks, Carla.
Okay, moving right along. 2025-2026 student fees.
The question for the board is, do you want to keep this fee status quo, increase by 5% or increase by 10%? Did everybody get the document with the breakdowns?
In the board update, I believe.
You're saying across the board, 5%, not
Yes.
specifics?
This is not up for action tonight, correct?
No.
No, it is not.
If you want some time to let it simmer, given the hour and given all you've already done this evening, this is hour 4, but it's okay. Just open it up to,
I guess questions that may not come, but I look to get an answer to is the difference in what it means from that 5 to the 10%. Like we have not been shy about saying that there are needs in this district that need to be funded. Always looking for it. We're always being innovative of how and where, but hanging on to the hat that we do not increase, or we try to maintain not increasing, but fees, but there's still different things that we have responsibility to our students to do, but that comes at a cost. So I would need like a little bit more on like what does that mean
You're saying
for
like
us?
Current 5% increase, 10% increase?
Like, yeah, what does that mean for us? Like with the needs that we have, do we need to go all the way to the 10%? Just from what we're trying, and I know we have issues where with fees that are not paid. So we're trying to balance that with the need for our students and what we need to, move forward. So,
I feel like we've asked about this before. Do we track or have a good insight into how those fees are utilized and if they're actually covering the costs of the specific, right? So we've got a $40 fee for soccer, right? All the kids pay it. Is the $40 fee from soccer, do we know that it's actually covering the costs from soccer for that year? Do we have that? I feel like we've asked about it before, but we haven't gotten,
or
been able to
technology,
get
that's
that
the one
deep.
where we pay a tech fee.
Yeah.
Is it answering, or is it supplying the needs? Are we spending more on technology than we're actually getting from like that? I think even that. I don't know
So
how
like
long that would
almost
take.
on the spreadsheet that was part of the board update, like if there could be another column of like totals, like this is the total cost to the district for this, and this is how much comes in based on fees, and sounds like that's not something, that sounds like a lot of work, but, but is that, it sounds like
Yeah.
kind of what we're asking
Yes, it
for.
does sound like that.
Yeah, and then also, did we raise fees last year?
No, we did not raise fees last
That was
year.
the other thing, I thought we wanted to try.
When was
and-
the last time? Did
that
we
was my
raise
next
them?
question, yeah.
I think we did have that answer. We have
Was
to
it
get back.
Kevin's last year that we raised them?
So.
And there was
I feel like
only
we have
one.
raised them once.
I believe it was a one line item too, because we raised like one of the line items and made a conscious effort to leave the other parts where they were. And I think we kept it at a minimum. So I think, yes, it's probably at least 2 or 3 years ago. It was the last increase with one item, and I think we have to,
Yeah, this is only my second year
and we haven't done it. while
of
you're-
this, and we did not raise last year.
Yeah,
I
and we
can't really
paused them
speak to
during
before.
COVID. We certainly paused them for at least 2 years during COVID. I think we've only raised them at Kevin's last year.
I think that's accurate. I think they've been raised one time in the last 4 years.
I mean, personally, I think it's hard to imagine us holding the fees the same again. Everything has gotten significantly
I was
more
gonna say,
expensive.
what has
Yeah,
stayed
I
the same?
Literally nothing has stayed the same, and our financial situation has not gotten better also. However, I'm less likely to, it's hard to say like 10% across the board
Yeah.
without really understanding, like, are these fees actually, are they right-sized? Are the fees right-sized?
That is going to require more work
Yeah.
than we can do before May 13th, to be real with you. To be able to desegregate it by fee,
Yeah.
by account.
So that's
And
what
I don't, and I'm just going to tell you, I don't think it's that scientific, if you will.
Right.
I think there's an estimation of different costs and fees. It goes into our general budget, and then we fund the things we need in this district.
That said, Jack, I mean, and I get that it's a lot of work to put together an analysis like that. At the same time, if these fees were originally set however long ago, and things have, and whether we've increased the fees at 2% a year or not, or whatever it is, all they are is a representation of what proportionally made sense at a given time that was probably a long time ago. And so just knowing whether things are right-sized, to your point, to just raise them by 5% or 7% or 6.247% is just kicking the can down the road a little bit further on making sure that these fees, not that they cover all the costs involved even so much, as that they are proportionally correct, is, because it doesn't, and that's just like there doesn't need to be a detailed analysis to know that.
I will get done the best analysis possible in the next few weeks. The other thing that might be helpful is to.
Help that we're dealing with an interim CSBO right now.
I mean, I could get behind a smaller increase this year to start
And then work on a more
ticking
detailed
up.
audit
And then
on
work
it.
on the detail
Work on
further.
that analysis.
That
with
can make sense,
with
yes.
a deeper understanding from each, and getting the administrators involved, like what programs do we even still have anymore? Like, I think about, and this one just always comes to my mind every year, the planner, like, is a $5 fee for a planner that I have thrown out every single year and have attempted to get my children to utilize every single year, and have failed pathetically. But I have also never heard anybody who uses the planner, right? So, like, if the planner doesn't make sense anymore, like, I don't need to pay $5 for it. That's a $5 that could better be utilized. So yeah, I could get behind a smaller across the board increase to tweak it up for this year, provided that we then
Pay
have
attention over the next 12 months to get
go
this
into
year.
next year and actually really
Or
take a look.
even like if part of that fee, like we know, like again, not a detailed thing, but we know the activity fee, we are not covering something we need, like we need a small amount increase. Even if we identify a few key areas that we know that has to increase, we have to do something about it. I would take that too. Just like, yes, this is not every line item that is explained, but we know that
We know that the
we don't need
wrestlers
that
not
need
enough
new
here.
mats.
Yeah.
We know
So
that
if
this
the-
team
even that,
needs
so
new
not-
mats.
So let me
something
just
too
say this.
daunting, but
We could do some kind of analytics on it, no question. We have not raised fees. I'm pretty confident in at least, we've raised them once in the last 4 or 5 years, which is, the other thing we could do is a comparison of what other districts are charging to get at least some kind of a fair comparison, so we can do,
I'm more
and
concerned with
when
what
we
we're doing.
charge, for instance, if you play soccer and you pay a $90 participation fee, we know darn well that does not cost.
Of course not.
It just offsets the cost.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can tell you
yeah.
right now, it's not like we run the soccer program based on the fee we charge.
Right.
It's meant to supplement, and it's uniform across the board to not to encourage participation in one sport over another. So it's a uniform fee.
Right.
So that's, the same with, for instance, if you want to do a home economics course where there's a lot of food consumption and preparation, it does not pay for the program. It offsets the cost of the program because there's additional cost to being a part of that program. But it certainly does not pay for the program, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's importantly said, like, I've said it as a parent, you know, what is this paying for?
Yeah.
We've talked about that too, like, how do we do that without having this long 100-page pamphlet that talks about
Yeah.
the home ex fee? But
Yeah.
saying something, like, even having that statement said to parents, like, you know, I pay for this every year, I've said it, I pay for this every year, what is it going to? Like, I pay it every year, and knowing that we are running supplies and things like that, and this is offsetting. So even offset, so I don't, we've talked about that, we don't necessarily have that, but I think it's important to be said or presented in a certain way. It's so much that we have to educate on, but that's still one thing that I've heard other parents say, and
Yeah.
I've even said it as even a new parent.
Because you don't want it to become another financial document that gets buried,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, then what happens with it, you know? And so I think that's
What
important.
happens is, to
Yeah.
be honest, it offsets the cost of the program.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And-
pay for the program. It
Right.
just, because there's an additional user fee for those programs.
Right.
If we didn't have a soccer team, or if we didn't have football or volleyball, or if we didn't run home ec, there would be a reduced cost. So it's meant to offset it, but not completely supplant it.
And I think that's a really important clarification to just advertise even more. And I also just, because I don't want anything to get taken out of context, Leo, when you said our financial situation has not gotten better, like, that's not because of anything irresponsible that we've done as a district. It's because of costs and needs. And that's, and it's just that.
Well, and it's on,
so I just
frankly, it's
wanted to-
on, yeah.
I know
no,
that's not how you
I
intended
appreciate
it, but I
you,
really
I
wanted-
appreciate you clarifying that. Yeah, frankly, our financial situation from the federal government is on questionable
Yeah.
grounds. We don't know.
So there's all kinds
There's-
of
there's
things
a
that
lot
are-
of
many
big
things
questions.
outside of our
Yeah.
control.
So I can do some kind of a rationale, we could do some kind of a comparison, but the third piece is we've only raised it once in the last 4 years. Is that your recollection too, Shannon? We have, most years we do not raise the fees, even though the cost of things increases. All right, I can get that ready
And
for.
I do think that also speaks to to some extent, some of what the community says about transparency, right? It's clarity. Hey, this is what this goes to, right? It offsets. And we've looked at it. We've looked at it.
Every year.
We've paid some attention to it every year. Do we need to talk about, the transportation fees separate? Okay. Okay, anything else on student fees? Do you have enough direction? Yes? Cool. Okay, moving right along, board member resignation. So, Ms. Rogers resigned and put in her letter of resignation. And it is not for,
It's something that we, it's submitted to the board secretary and then the president, that's presented to the board members, and Ms. Rogers is, aware that we are, it's not something that we have to formally accept, but we are acknowledging a day, with her reasoning being for her private reasons. But we, again, I wanted, with that, before we kind of go further, I'd like to just acknowledge even her work on the board. You know, it takes a lot to be a part of this, and what you give up, and the time you give up to do it. So I do want to say we appreciate her volunteering to be a part of this board and giving her expertise during her 2-year span. So
Yeah.
outside of that is not something that, we kind of display further. Yeah, anyone that wishes to speak to her, try. I would say respect her privacy, but if you're really pressed, you can contact her. But the next thing for us is kind of discuss.
Yeah, so board policy is that we need to fill open roles within 60 days of resignation. So we are within, that started the day of her resignation. We are in a unique situation as far as time is concerned, as an election has just happened. So a very large portion of the population has said who they would like to be board members. So it leaves us with an option.
I want to add that a very large portion of the population has said who they would like to be board, and people who wanted the position spoke up prior to that, and went through the effort of becoming candidates for the role.
Yes, gathered their signatures, put their names on the ballot, went through the process.
I think it's important
of getting their names on the ballot very recently. So there is some precedent for us to essentially extend the election results to the next
most voted,
next highest vote getter. It would require some suspension of policy. So what we would have to do, because whenever we adjust policy, we have to talk about the policy and then we can adjust it. So essentially, we would have to suspend our the policy that covers filling in a vacated seat that says the 60 days. So we would suspend that policy, and then we could appoint the new, whoever received the next number of votes, if they were interested. There are 2 other candidates, so we could go back and touch base with the person who earned the next most votes, and then if that person is not interested, we could also go to the person who earned the next number of votes. So, but obviously that is a suspending. We should talk about it.
Are we allowed to suspend policy in order to do that? It's not illegal. It's not.
Nope. Right. That's not a. It's not a law of how we do it. We just the previous boards, and it's common for boards to fill vacancies a certain way. I think the biggest thing that stands is 60 days. That's probably our biggest obligation.
Yeah. What was her exact resignation date? So that we know 60 days from then.
The 15th?
We received it late at night, so the last business day was
April 14th.
April 14th, which you sent it.
I mean, I think it makes so much sense because we just had the election and a lot of people in the community just spoke about who they would like to see serve on this board, and those people took all those steps. That is the most logical thing. Gather signatures. My only hesitancy is that that's not what we've been doing in the recent past, and so I just want to make but those were different times that there were vacancies, right?
So we're nowhere near. We were nowhere near an election any of those times.
Then I think that makes perfect sense to proceed in a different way. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Policy. I agree. The election just happened. So.
Yeah.
So and this isn't something we have to decide today, but definitely having this discussion and open to say where we are. The one thing I like to point out that either way it goes, we are appointing someone. The board appoints them. So going through that against having someone present a letter, get references. Candidates had to get 50 signatures as a reference and present themselves to the Board of Elections. Actually, I feel like they've done more to make themselves a candidate than to write a letter to the board and we appoint them. So that's already some standards that have been put. But either way it goes, the board is appointing a member. The other times we were not close to an election, and they even have that in our policies. If you're so close, then you'll wait the election. If it's so many years left, I believe with this one, the person who's appointed will finish out the 2 years, and then if they want to remain, they have to run and be elected. But
yeah, so I just double checked. So it's policy 2-70. That is the policy to fill a vacancy, and policy 2-240 does allow the board to suspend any policy not required by law or contract. So this policy is not required by law or contract. It's something that we have that is board policy, that we've taken on. So, we
Well,
can.
Yeah, it'd be waiving it, not
So
suspending it.
we would be waiving or suspending the policy, either or essentially. And it can be done in a separate vote, or it can be done in combination with the vote to appoint a person to fill the vacancy.
That's how you would write the motion. Real quick, just thinking about the timeline. So we said 60 days from the 14th of April, is that right? And we don't meet again until the 13th of May. So by the time we get the chance to meet again, we will have burnt 30 days if neither of those two candidates wants the position. So
Yes.
should we discuss real quickly what we will do if neither of them want the position?
So, it's Tuesday. I can reach out to both of them if need be, to get an answer on that and have it in the board update by this Friday.
Okay?
I think, I
Yeah.
think with knowing that answer, kind of having a caveat to say that we are proceeding, I think either way, well, if for some reason they say no, or this board is not interested in doing that, that all likelihood is that we'll have an extra meeting. And we've done that before, but we have
We'll have
a
an
special
extra-
meeting.
Yeah, special meeting.
And some of that time we're putting in is special times to interview. So more dates that we need to start to at least think about and come up with as we find out these answers.
If you guys recall, we had at least 2 special meetings for interviews for both times that we've filled roles, and then another special meeting to appoint. So it would put us in a, regardless, it's special meetings.
Proactively plan the dates, and then if we don't need them, we don't need them.
I just wanted to understand how we
Yeah.
would proceed. I mean, we may not need to have the dates, so we don't have to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to make sure I understood what Plan B is, in case Plan A doesn't work out, that's all. And Plan B would be that we would schedule a special board meeting sometime between now and the 13th of May. Right?
Well, at the we have to put, submit it and give people time to submit their request or their desire to be placed, and then we'll just schedule times to interview.
So you're saying
We
that
would have
potentially
to-
it could be added to the May 13th
So
agenda?
the first thing, so by Friday, okay, we would know if we want to go with option A. By Friday, I can have an answer for the board. If on Friday that answer is nobody's interested, Saturday, the position can be posted. So the posting has to happen first. So, and then we decide, right, 7 or 14 days, probably 7 to get your applications in, or 14 days to get your applications in, which kind of puts us around like the 13th. So probably if we were to do interviews, it would be like the last 2 weeks of May, regardless, because we'd have to have some time for applications to come in, we could potentially review those applications on the 13th in closed session, because it's personnel, and then go from there. And I mean, it would be tight, but we would get it under the wire.
I got it.
For, as clarification, for option A, would we first, so it could be also for that timeline, May 13th, suspend our protocols and then placement of a person that same day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same day, same meeting. Yes. I think we can actually do
Same
it in the
motion?
same motion, actually. Yes.
Great, efficient.
Yeah. So is option A?
The direction we're giving you is to, that,
Yes.
can we are like straw polling that we are on board with seeing if the previous candidates are, or I guess the next candidate is interested in that, and then.
That's what everybody wants to do?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Look in the board update on Friday? Okay, we'll have an answer on Friday and see where we go from there. Any other comments on that? Okay, next.
Can I just say too?
Yeah.
This has been reviewed by our council.
Yes.
So this,
Oh, yes.
It's not like,
Before we ever.
just so you know. that they're
So the last
kinda
piece
understanding, isn't it?
need to discuss is the potential addition of a transportation fee. So if you recall, this has been in the conversation for a number of years. Transportation is one of our most uncontrollable, highest expenses. And it has really gotten rough since COVID. So it's been in the conversation. I know that the business office has tossed around potentially adding a transportation fee over the last number of years. We're talking about this as a separate discussion item because we have all of our existing fees, right? And if we're going to do anything with those existing fees, but this would be a new fee. Yeah. Jack, you got?
You'd be surprised at what a limited scope it contains. Shannon, can you help me with that? I mean, I've heard it will only impact 60 students in the whole district because we're required to give transportation to students who have to cross major barriers. So
Cass, Ogden, train tracks.
Well, only parts of Cass. So the
Only
Manning,
parts of Cass?
Manning Miller, that is not considered hazardous. If you're crossing between Ogden and the tracks, if you cross Cass to get to Manning side, it is not hazardous. We've not been able to get that deemed hazardous. They've tried a couple times with the state, and
So
they
it's like
can't.
only the downtown area.
Yeah, so it's really between Ogden and the tracks and those kids. So it really only impacts the kids going to Manning and Miller. Would be our greater number of kids using it. Chris ran the numbers for me roughly, and it's a really rough number, it's about 60 kids.
Out of 12 or 1,300.
Because if you're free and reduced, those still apply to the fees. So she removed those names. So out of the 600 kids, I guess, between those two schools, we have, 10%.
I'm sorry, you're saying that's how many people we would collect a transportation fee from?
Yeah, yes, roughly currently based on what we have in Skyward.
Do we know if those 60 people actually utilize transportation?
Well, that we can't say every day, or they could be one day a week, it could be,
Yeah, because we offer it, right? So it's hard to tell if they are actually users of transportation or walkers of transportation.
the other thing to our district's credit is many districts charge a significant transportation fee and we do not. We have no fee for transportation that I'm aware of, correct?
No, we do
Yeah, well, we have a lot of hazardous crossings.
I'm just saying.
It's so small.
It's standard practice to charge a transportation fee, and this district does not.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel really stupid just because there's nothing on here. What are we trying to ask? What is to add a transportation
Well,
fee
it's been
60
put
I'm
on
confused.
for consideration. I'm going to tell you for 60 kids and what will be taken from that, I'm willing to table it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, honestly, I'm confused why it's only 60 kids and not like everybody who gets transportation.
No, a lot of people we're required to provide transportation.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're required to provide transportation for everybody essentially within a 2-mile radius, and our entire district is a 2-mile radius. And then the hazardous crossings, so if you have to cross the train tracks, so everybody south of the train tracks, we're required without a fee to cover their transportation anywhere, because none of our.
These are people who aren't in that cohort who are getting transportation.
Yeah, so they would have to be
a mile and a half.
That's the proposal.
Yeah. So even like Oakwood, right? Oakwood, you would have to cross Ogden and Cass to get to any of our other schools on the south. So everybody in Oakwood would be required to we're required to cover transportation to all of the elementaries, and then the elementaries essentially going north, right? If you're in the downtown area, again, you're anywhere you have to cross Cass or Ogden, which is where the junior high and the high school are, we're required to cover. So it's really like, it's
honestly,
60,
I hate to be that person right now, but given how late it is and there's not even like an overview or information doc, like I was just, I feel
And
like we
it's
just,
something-
and access, like I think we just table this for now. I don't even know.
Yes.
what
And
we're
it's
talking
something
about.
we wanted that's on there because we have this stuff. And some of the history is that because we went to grade level centers, like before grade level centers, we didn't, Miller Manning, there was no bus.
Right.
You walk, there was not even an option, even for parents that said, hey, if I could pay, can we get a bus? But it became a new thing, not new, but it's with our transportation overall, and the cost that it incurs. It was something that was, and it came with information, like we had to do our study of who would this apply to. And so we had that as part of the discussion we didn't have before, and we have numbers that say, we're going to ask, is it worth it? But still something needs to be done with transportation costs. So that's not it. But
So it sounds like there's not interest from the board in continuing to look at a transportation fee. Okay. Rock on. Moving into action items. So board action on closed session minutes. So just a reminder that we do destroy closed session minutes, standard operating procedure once a year. That's what this is. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve the board action on closed session minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Motion passes. So number 2, destruction of verbatim closed session minutes. So again, this is an Open Meetings Act. It requires a biannual review of our closed session minutes. Verbatim records can be recommended for destruction no less than 18 months following approval of the written minutes. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve the destruction of the verbatim closed session minutes from March 1st, 2023 to August 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Motion passes. Approval of the Westmont High School schedule change for the 25-26 school year, as we discussed earlier tonight and at the last meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the changes to the Westmont High School schedule as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Okay, number 4, approval of the line-wise content filtering contract. So there's a board memo in here that Nadine gives a little bit more information. Line-wise is going to replace BOSS BOSS. And it's actually going to replace 2 items, and it has, so it's actually we're going to condense 2 current pieces of software into 1, and this piece of software has a much larger scope also. Any questions? Cool.
No, I appreciate the cost comparison and breakdown on,
Yes.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
super helpful, and
Yeah.
this makes 100% sense.
Yeah, because it
do.
is a little bit more, but when you take into account that it is
Consolidating
actually
and
replacing 2 things,
that it works.
and gives us much more ability, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the 3-year contract with Linewise in the amount of $49,530 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, approval of the summer school plans for summer 2025. Thanks to the admin teams for updating and tweaking this. We got a presentation on it earlier tonight. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the 2025 summer school plans as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, the next 2 are, again, standard items that we do once a year, the title grants and Title I. So the first one is approval of consolidated plan for title grants. There is a memo in here in public content that shows our title grants and some details on it, and the grant application as well. Any questions? Cool. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consolidated district plan for title grants as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, and approval of the Title I school-wide waiver. So again, there's a memo in here in public docs that explains this one in a little bit more detail. This is a standard process that we do once a year to get our Title I. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the Title I school-wide waivers for Miller, Manning, and Westmont High School as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Dr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Redonio?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Ms. Securi?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes. Motion passes. Okay. Moving right along, superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to be very brief here. If I can get this thing to advance, can somebody give me, is there a...
You've got to scroll through. It's a PDF, Carla. That's how it downloaded. He just has to.
Just show me, please.
It's not going to advance like the arrow. You just have to use this like
Got it.
scroll thing.
Watch how quick I am.
See, got it.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so we'll give more detail on the board update, but we're looking at reducing staff and positions district-wide for a total savings of $603,000. That does not mean we have a decrease in our budget of $603,000. It means these are positions that are being decreased. Primarily through retirement, reducing 2/3 of an administrative position, reducing 3.1 certified positions, but we have to add back another 0.4 for our dual language program because of the enrollment there. A net decrease of 2.7 and reducing 3 non-certified positions. Funding, we're very grateful to State Senator Susie Glowiak Hilton, State Representative Marty Deuter, and then their chiefs of staff, Nick Giannini and Susan Douglas, who we've been working with to gain more funding for our district, and they've been very helpful, and we're optimistic, and we'll keep the board updated on that. New hires, we have incredible people. I think we should be so proud as a district. These are unbelievably talented people who are beloved in their districts. They choose our district over other districts, and several of them are taking pay decreases to come here and serve, and we're most grateful for that. Our new CSBO, Ron O'Connor, a new special education teacher, Megan Vella, the principal at Manning, Dr. Kevin Ryan, the assistant principal, Stephanie Just, and then the superintendent intern, Brandy Campbell. Each of them is incredible. We're lucky to have them, and I'm really excited. This is why we are seen as a destination district, rightly so. As Chicago Magazine noted, a hidden gem for families, largely due to its highly rated schools. That notice is getting out there, as are our accomplishments. This is just one of many. But the point is, it's pretty outstanding that the word's out there in our community, in the region, throughout the state, about the quality of our district, and we're being able to garner some incredible talent, and that's where the difference is made. And last but most importantly, the students, teachers, and admin in the district who work so hard. It's hard to express this. If you walk through these buildings, these kids and teachers are on point. They take it so seriously. We don't want them like stressing out about it. We just want them to be good people and give their best effort. Just give an excellent effort, and wherever the scores land will be fine. But it really is incredible to see the commitment, and I'm so proud of them. So I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board reports, anybody?
I was asking for a quick, anybody have a quick recap for the PR committee meeting today?
Oh.
Some key points.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. Yeah. I can talk a little bit. We got some good feedback. I think the idea that we have going forward is to have listening sessions, and tonight felt a little bit like one of the first ones. It was like a listening session in a lot of ways. There was a brief introduction by Edith as to what her vision for these PR committee meetings going forward, and then I think we spent a good 40 minutes talking about fundamentally two questions that she had for the participants in the committee. One was.
Do you want me to read them? I have a little.
No, I mean I know what they were. They're also right here. But the one question was, what alternatives would you like to have seen in the referendum, and the other is about what advice or in what ways would you like to engage on the referendum as a community. So those are the fundamental questions that were asked and talked about. So again, good feedback. It's some of them were practical things like, hey, if you're going to communicate with the community in written form, maybe have some of those whether it's a flyer or a magazine or whatever, have them distribute them at doctor's offices and places where people go. So I thought that was an interesting one. I think we try to get some clarity around the definition of what a neighborhood school means. I didn't leave the meeting with a sense of clarity around that topic. It didn't seem clear to me whether that meant certain neighborhoods or whether that meant central, like a central location with geographically speaking within the Westmont School District, or whether that meant some neighborhoods versus other neighborhoods. It just wasn't clear to me. I don't know that I got any clarity around that one. You were there too?
Succinct. Well done.
We are going to have listening sessions on May 19th, June 17th, and July 15th. And I think the main thing, if anybody's listening, is we are truly listening and open-minded. All options are on the table. We just want to better understand what it is the community wants, and we're open to those ideas.
Are those dates up on the website?
They will be.
Awesome.
Just something else, I don't know if you guys seen another plug for Westmont and Westmont High School. The soccer team, the girls' soccer team was featured, but they featured the high school, and I just, like, there are some key statements there that how, oh, you're a blue ribbon school doing wonderful things, and you're a diamond in the rough.
Where was this?
This is on the news today, so
CBS.
the students were collecting for a giveaway for people in need. I forgot the exact organization, but those students gather, and many of our students do this, but especially with PRC, but they gathered for this, and then they featured them, speaking to some of the students. But it's like, yeah, you guys are a diamond in the rough here in Westmont. Just 400 students, and are for the high school, under 400 students, and you guys are doing some great things. I'm like,
Did he put that on the website already?
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's on Instagram and Facebook, but I don't know
Cool
what it's
little
up
clip, yeah.
I did not see that.
Great.
And then the other thing I was just going to mention, like another successful trip. I think this is the first year since COVID that the 8th graders went to, had their field trip to DC. And thanks to Mr. Casiello, I'm going to forget all the teachers that organized, but I know he's one of the main organizers. But seems like a successful trip. Lots of learning from the students. They had a great time, and great that they hopefully can do it every year again.
Okie dokie. There's no need for closed session. Is there any additional public comment? Okay, moving right along to upcoming meetings and events. We've got our Cultural Family Showcase, April 25th at 6 p.m. at Westmont High School. That's otherwise known as International Night, correct?
Yes.
That is this Friday. Our elementary PTO meeting, May 6th at 6:30 p.m. I believe this is officers maybe being elected. Our BPAC meeting, May 8th at 6 p.m. at Westmont Junior High School. The Manning Spring Formal is May 9th at 4 p.m. at Manning. And our next CUSD 201 board meeting is May 13th, 6:30 p.m. right here, Westmont Village Hall. Okay, no other communications. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Voice vote?
All
those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 10:09.